After my initial decoration video a few months ago, which honestly took me almost a month to even make, my Switch 2 has been collecting dust. To be fair, the purchase itself was a bit impulsive. At the time of purchase, I was waiting for my AYN Tor and Odin Tree Android handhelds to arrive, and I had never really enjoyed using my V2 Switch. So I figured maybe the Switch 2 would change that. I bought it right around the same time Pokemon Legends CA came out, but I honestly was not interested in that game. Instead, I went with the Mario Kart World bundle. And this might be me, but Pokemon games just haven't been hitting the way I wish they would lately. I love the atmosphere and the direction that Pokemon Legends Arceus tried to go in, but I really wish Game Freak or Nintendo would take the series even further and make something a little more immersive like Power World or even what Amiibo plans to bring. I don't actually think the Switch 2 itself is the reason I'm using it less. The reality is that I'm just more of a PC gamer. At this point, the Switch 2 is really my only console. I own a PS5 and an Xbox Series S in the past, but I always find myself drifting back to PC. Ironically, that's actually a compliment to the Switch's design. I genuinely believe every console should be designed like the Switch. The screen to size ratio is fantastic, and the display itself is beautiful. I never owned the OLED Switch model, but compared to the original version 1 and version 2 Switch screens, this is a huge improvement. What's really impressive is the size of the Switch 2. It's roughly similar to the size of my Lenovo Legion Go, but it manages to be much thinner, which actually makes it feel more portable overall. One thing I always adored about the Switch is the versatility. You can play it in handheld mode, tabletop mode, or docked on a TV. Personally, I spend most of my time using the Switch 2 either as a handheld or in tabletop mode. I actually discovered a pretty cool trick. Because of the kickstand, I was able to prop the Switch 2 right on top of my laptop screen, basically turning my setup into a dual screen laptop multitasking device situation. It sounds silly, but it actually worked surprisingly well. I enjoy the new magnetic way JoyCons attach on the Switch 2. It's much less cumbersome compared to the OG Switch slide-on connection. The larger size of the controllers are much appreciated, but holding the Joy-Cons still feel a bit off to me compared to other controllers.
We interrupt this program to bring
Cases
you...
have become part of my daily life. ProCase sent over 3 cases and each one fits a different situation, but all work perfectly together. What I like about the slim gray case is that it doesn't just fit my Switch, but other handhelds. And because this is a slim case, it fits anywhere. This hardshell case is my go-to when I need 360 protection. Not only is it aesthetically pink, the grips have been really nice for handheld gaming sessions. It just feels better in hand compared to the regular Joy-Cons. And this travel case holds everything. Dock, controllers, all in one place, which makes packing up feel simple. This will definitely be fine with me when I go out of state. The quality of these cases are generally solid, and I'm not worried about protecting my Switch anymore. I'm hoping for more soft pastel color options to be released in the future because I've been using these cases nonstop. If you're looking for protection, look no further and give ProCase a try. You can get 15% off using my code PCFan15. Links are in the description box below. So far, I haven't experienced any Joy-Con drift, which seems like something Nintendo may have improved this generation, even though they didn't switch to Hall Effect sticks. Because Nintendo had opted to be different, in my opinion, there's one major flaw with the controllers: the triggers. All Switch systems use digital triggers, and while that works fine on the console itself, it becomes a problem when you try using Joy-Cons on other devices like a PC. The lack of trigger depth makes games that rely on analog input like racing games feel almost impossible to control properly. Because of that, I pretty much accepted that JoyCons work best on the console that they were designed for, despite having Bluetooth compatibility. I also have never tried the new mouse mode feature where you can use your Joy-Cons as a mouse, and don't plan to unless I'm forced. The feature seems a bit gimmicky since you can't do much with the Switch 2 outside of gaming, and I'm not seeing an abundance of mouse and click games rushing to the Switch 2. That said, the social aspect of the Joy-Cons is still incredible. The fact that you can just hand someone a Joy-Con and they instantly have a full controller is still one of Nintendo's best ideas. And honestly, that's something PC games sometimes struggle with. Setting up local multiplayer on PC can be way more complicated than it should be. Before we go further, hi, my name is Sin. I'm a CG generalist and illustrator. I make videos about handhelds, tech, art, and games. If that sounds like your thing, consider subscribing. So, is it worth it? That's the big question, and honestly, it depends. The Switch 2 is fairly expensive, coming in at about $450, and realistically, if you want to start playing new games immediately, you're going to spend closer to $500, because most people will want to grab at least one game with their new console. That's why the Mario Kart World Bundle makes sense. You're basically saving about $30 on the game compared to buying everything separately. As Switch 2 games are now priced starting at $79.99 if you are in the US. The real issue is the price of the games. Switch 2 games are ridiculously expensive, and even while making this video, I found myself hesitating to buy new releases. I even considered picking up Pokemon Pokopia due to the raving reviews, but the pricing made me think. I can literally buy a retro handheld for these prices. If you are familiar with my channel, you know I've been showcasing a lot of Android and PC handhelds lately. Those devices come in many different sizes and form factors, and many of them are far more portable than the Switch 2. Because of that, I find myself reaching for them much more often. And now that many Android handhelds can actually run real Steam games, the flexibility is hard to ignore. I can start a game on my PC, then continue later on a handheld, or I can simply stream directly from my computer. I can even dock my Android handhelds with one simple USB-C wire and not struggle with the dock. My Android handhelds are not stuck in being one device. I can emulate multiple systems, use it for media and gaming, and a gaming device at the same time. The Switch 2 isn't capable of that, at least not right now. It's not because it's weak either, it's held back by its software. And realistically, that's probably not part of Nintendo's vision anyway to make the Switch more versatile. Which is fine, but it does mean the system doesn't always pull me in when the same game is available elsewhere. That said, there are some upcoming titles that make the Switch 2 more tempting. Games like Tamagotchi Life, the newly released Pokemon Pokopia, and even the upcoming Pokemon Winds and Wave titles are the kind of experiences that only really make sense on Nintendo hardware. I already know I'll probably end up buying at least 2 out of those 3 games. In conclusion, if the Switch 2 is your only console, you'll probably love it. But if you are a handheld collector like me and you actually want to regularly use the systems you buy, the Switch 2 might end up being something you mostly pick up when Nintendo releases major first-party titles. Right now, it's been difficult for me to fully commit to the Switch 2 platform. Specifically for third-party games, I really only enjoy a select few of first-party games. I haven't even purchased the Switch 2 version upgrade of the Animal Crossing, and it's pretty cheap, but I'm quite tired of the gameplay loop. The third-party games I'm interested in typically are priced higher on the Switch, even though they've been out for years at this point. Cyberpunk, for example, which mind you I think is really cool to play on this device, but I refuse to even play it because I already own the game and had bought it on PC for like $30 on sale. Between the high game prices and the lack of cross-save compatibility, I've only purchased a handful of games that really take advantage of the new hardware. Most of these games were purchased due to a sale, and the fact is I already own most of these games on PC, but choose to play on the Switch instead. If you made it this far, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think the Switch 2 is worth the price right now? Overall, I do like my Switch 2. I do plan to use it more often to clear my massive backlog in games. With that being said, don't forget to like and sub. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.